Môre weer eens aan almal wat gou kom inloer, 10:00, ons wag vir die aankondiging wat John Steenhuisen gaan maak. Die verwagting volgens alle media berigte is dat hy gaan aandui dat hy nie vir hom gaan herverkiesbaar stel as leier van die DA met die DA se volgende kongres, leierskongres in April nie. Hoewel hy met gister se aankondiging van die mediakonferensie gesê het, maar mense moet nie bespiegel oor wat hy gaan sê nie, hulle moet nou maar wag. Hy gaan 'n aankondiging van 'n nasionale belang maak. En nou is daar verskeie mense wat sê dat hulle vanuit ingeligte bronne vanuit die DA uitgehoor het, dat dit is die plan wat hy het, om hom nie weer as leier van die DA beskikbaar te stel, wat dan die weg sal baan vir 'n nuwe leier. En die groot vraag wat ons ook vanoggend gevra het, is wie dit sal wees, en dit blyk in die stadium of die groot lig op Jordan Lewis, die burgemeester van Kaapstad val. Maar intussen wag ons vir John, wat allerweë 'n beleerde minister van landbou en DA-leier is, na aanleiding van beskuldigings dat hy die back and closure epidemie verkeerd hanteer. En daar word nogal groot skuld op sy skouers geplak. Baie mense wat sê, ja, maar ek moet nou maar uitkom en sê waar ek staan, maar ek het gedog, dis nie 'n geheim waar ek staan nie. Ek staan nie regtig ergens hier, man. Ek staan maar aan die kant van billikheid, volgens my. Ons het vorige jare al baie groot uitbrake van back and closure gehad. Met de ministers van landbou wat nog minder tot niks gedoen het, as waarvan John beskuldig word. En niemand het toe vreeslike opslae gemaak daaroor nie. Soos elke ander back and closure krisis het boere die ding opgetel en deurgegaan. Deur die ding gekom. Dis nie asof back and closure onbekend is by ons nie. Dis ook nie onbekend aan ons dat boere swaar kry tydens back and closure krisis. Niemand moet dit ooit ontken nie. Dis 'n geweldige krisis. En nou voel dit net vir my, hoewel daar rede vir kritiek is, asof die kritiek onbillik vel is, omdat dit John is. Dis amper soos wanneer 'n mens kwaader vir jou familielid is as vir ander mense, wanneer hulle iets verkeerd doen. So ek weet daar's mense wat sommer lelike goed vir my al gesê het, omdat ek volgens hulle my aan die kant van John skaar, en John uitgemaak word as die vyand van die volk, en dit moet ek vir jou sê, is sommer twak. Dis allermins. Alright, hier kom hy nou, ek sit hom weer.
Person, I did see Mabatu Tembe, who's the Deputy Speaker of the Legislature. Warm welcome to you. Hanifusen, eThekwini mayoral candidate. Good to see you as well. Chris Papas, the Mayor of the Umgeni municipality, is here as well. I see various MPs and MPLs. It's good to welcome councillors, members of the Democratic Alliance, friends of the Democratic Alliance, members of the media, of course, and fellow South Africans watching across South Africa. Thank you all for being here today. Without too much ado, let me welcome to the podium Mr. John Steenhuisen, the Federal Leader of the Democratic Alliance.
Thank you very, very much, and thank you for all of my good friends who've turned out here today. I'm joined here today by my beautiful family, some of my closest friends in politics, and some of my dearest colleagues. I want to particularly acknowledge Rosemary Harrison, whose mum and dad, Graham and Jean, were my campaign managers for all three of my campaigns for councillor right here in Ward 36, Durban North. It's also great to see friends who've been with me from the beginning of my career and others who have joined me along the way. I want to also pay tribute to my two excellent campaign managers, Ashel Sarupan and Dean McPherson. Their political skills have carried us to victory on a number of occasions, and I'm really grateful to the work that you guys have put in, as well as my amazing campaign team. I also want to thank, for being here this morning, my amazing office staff, my team that have been with me on the road. We've traveled together to every corner of the country. We've had laughs, we've had tears, but most of all, we've had a great time, and that's what I'm so grateful for. A few weeks ago, I climbed up the steps to the Union buildings for probably the umpteenth time since the Democratic Alliance entered national government 19 months ago. But instead of rushing straight to the next meeting, I felt a sudden urge to stop at the top. And I turned around and looked out over the green lawns and the beautiful skyline of Pretoria. And for a long moment, I just stood there, thinking about the enormous meaning behind the seemingly small activity of walking up the steps. But not long ago, it was unthinkable that the leader of the Democratic Alliance would ever walk up the steps to the Union buildings. For 30 years under democracy, and for many decades before that, the DA and its predecessors fought with everything that they had to one day carry our vision of building an open opportunity society for all into national government. Now, the DA strove for this goal because it was only through gaining access to the levers of power that we could ever hope to build a fair, more prosperous, and more successful country. But to get there would require a leader who would do the hard work of converting the DA from a party of mere opposition into a governing force strong enough to now bend the arc of history away from a South Africa marked by joblessness, decline, and despair, and into a new direction towards economic growth, rising prosperity, and renewed hope in the future. Very few people, including I might add some people in this room, believe we would ever get there. Far too many people were comfortable with the DA being in a perpetual opposition, smirking, pointing fingers, while South Africa was on the decline. And yet, once we got the DA back on track following my election as federal leader in 2019, we set out to achieve exactly this in the 2024 general election, to enter national government for the first time in our party's history. In April 2023, following my re-election as federal leader of the Democratic Alliance, with the decisive mandate of 83%, the largest winning margin of any leader in the history of the party, I announced that the DA was ready to now take the moonshot, that we were going to shed our image as a party that only shouted at other people from the sidelines, and instead mature into a party that gets stuck in to fix this country that we all love so much. In an address that reshaped the DA's approach to coalition government, that would then go on to reshape South Africa a little over a year later, I announced that my party would move towards a more collaborative form of politics. A sort of politics that sought to unite those who want to build up the country while isolating those who want to break it. At the time, I also warned that if the DA was unable to mature and rise to the demands of a coalition country, it would be responsible for selling South Africa out to the populist doomsday coalition. A little over a year later, on the 3rd of July 2024, the DA achieved our moonshot. After the ANC lost its majority for the first time since 1994, and after the emergence of Jacob Zuma's MK party made our mission even more urgent, the DA successfully negotiated the formation of the Government of National Unity with President Cyril Ramaphosa. And I'm very proud that the President and I were able to work collaboratively to put this government together. DA members were sworn in as ministers, deputy speaker, chairpersons and portfolio committee chairs in the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, as well as MECs and deputy speaker in KwaZulu-Natal, in addition to retaining outright control of the Western Cape. This outcome, which included the Democratic Alliance's ascension to national power, constitutes the single greatest achievement in the history of our party. Yeah. Against all the odds, a party that's once languished at 1.7% of the national vote, and I'm glad Bill Lambert's here because he will remember those days, that was a party that was then subsequently seen as a desolate shack, it was described, in the political landscape, and then subsequently seen as little more than a regional party, and then a party regarded as too arrogant and oppositional to play any national role, now carried the hopes and the dreams of our 3.5 million voters into national government for the first time ever. That we were able to get back to growth after the previous leader walked off the job. That we had the strategic foresight to reposition the party in anticipation of the coalition era. That we were able to negotiate our way into becoming a leading partner in South Africa's first ever democratically elected national multi-party government. And that we have since leveraged our influence in government to set South Africa determinedly on a fundamentally better path. This is an achievement that will go down in history. In the long story of the DA and its predecessors, dating back to at least 1959, there is only one leadership era that will ever be remembered for marshalling our party across the Rubicon and international government. Only one, and it is this one. A little over a year and a half later, the people of South Africa are beginning to experience the full impact of this breakthrough. The GNU has more than doubled economic growth in its first calendar year in office. The DA made a major contribution to this through our victory against a proposed VAT increase last year in favor of deeper and faster economic reform. South Africa recently got its first credit upgrade in 20 years, and we have finally been removed from the Financial Action Task Force's grey list. Growth projections are improving across the board, and unemployment has started to tick down. Now, of course, we have much more to do, but there is no doubt that South Africa's economy is now on the up after more than a decade of rapid decline. For the first time in many years, life is getting better for the people of South Africa, thanks to the work of the Democratic Alliance at municipal, provincial, and crucially, national level. Through the GNU, we have opened major agricultural export markets in the last 18 months, and we are working scientifically and with determination to end the worst foot-and-mouth outbreak in our country's history. Systemic reform is underway at Home Affairs, where a department that was once synonymous with failure is rapidly becoming a world leader in efficiency and secure digital service delivery. Basic education is reforming our school curriculum, while the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies is unlocking an equity equivalent investment to massively expand digital inclusion. Public works and infrastructure, a construction boom across our economy. However you slice and dice it, and however you look at it, South Africa today is a profoundly better country than it was on the eve of the 2024 elections. Now, a major part of the reason is because I delivered on my pledge to turn our party into a party of national government, which enabled the talented colleagues who lead these cabinet portfolios and provincial portfolios to demonstrate that the DA truly delivers for all. In fact, one of the things that I'm probably most proud of is this pool of talent that I've actively nurtured in the DA. Whether it's Siviwe Grahube, Ashel Sarupan, Leon Schreiber, Dean McPherson, Solly Malatsi, Mimi Gondwe, or Selo Setlolo as ministers and deputy ministers, or Jordan Hill-Lewis and Celias Brink, and Chris Pappas as mayors of major metropolitan and town areas. These talented young leaders, and many others like them, became household names, because during my tenure we actively worked to empower them at every turn. They say the mark of a true leader is not what the leader does, but the people that he puts around him. And I'm very proud of the people in this room and across the party who I've invested in and who are now stepping up and leading wherever they are. A leader's job is to identify talent in people and then to foster that talent wherever it can be found. Because as these young leaders continue to shine in the DA for many, many years to come, it will always reflect on the leader who first believed in them. I'm also particularly proud of how the DA is increasingly seen as a political home for all the people of South Africa. At the start of my leadership, many commentators underestimated my commitment to ensuring that the party broadens its appeal beyond its traditional base. But the moonshot that catapulted the DA into the GNU was predicated on my commitment to reshape this party into one that transcends the boundaries of race, ethnicity, and class to serve the people of our beautiful country. And when I say serve the people, I say serve all the people. I believe the key reason why the DA is now polling at historically high levels and winning by-elections in areas where it traditionally struggled and winning by-elections across the country, as last night's victories in the Western Cape, where we took 2 wards off the ANC, showed us. And I believe this is because the party's work in the GNU has proven that we care for all South Africans, no matter their background or their circumstances. Whether it's empowering emerging farmers and fishers, issuing smart IDs to people in villages and rural areas, or delivering better education in township schools, no one can now deny that the DA is delivering for all. I also feel it's important to remind my fellow Democrats that the progress we have experienced in 2019 did not happen automatically or by osmosis. Although the decisions like the formation of the Moonshot Pact and entering the GNU were proven correct, we must not gloss over the fact that some people opposed these bold moves at the time that I pushed for them. I say this as a reminder to all of us that the threat of the populist doomsday coalition has not disappeared. The prospect of them ultimately entering government has not disappeared. Just look what happened in this province in December last year, when the MK party came within a single vote of toppling the government of provincial unity. In the wake of losing that motion of no confidence that they had instituted against the GPU, they resorted to violence. They inflicted destruction in the chamber of the legislature, including assaulting the speaker. Make no mistake about it. The scenes that we saw on that day is what awaits all of South Africa if we ever allow the MK-EFF Doomsday Coalition into power. As the DA, but also other GNU partners, hold internal elections over the coming months, it's paramount that we all continue to put South Africa ahead of factional and personal agendas. It would be a tragedy too great to contemplate for internal party maneuvering to plunge the GNU and our country into chaos. We have come too far, and we still have too far to go to allow anybody to derail the progress that we are making. My fellow South Africans and my friends, when I stood at the top of those steps at the Union Buildings a few weeks ago, I was reminded of another set of steps that I ascended for the first time 27 years ago. And they were the steps to the Durban City Council, where I was elected as the youngest ever councillor in 1999. If someone had told that bright-eyed and bushy-tailed young man that he would, just over 2 decades later, be the person to lead the DA international government, he probably wouldn't have believed you. And as I stood there looking out over South Africa's capital city, I realized it's mission accomplished for me. I have delivered on everything that I promised my party when I was first elected as federal leader back in 2019. I proudly picked up this party's banner when its internal polling was down to just 16%, and after the media declared the death of the DA. Built on a simple message that I believed that there was nothing wrong with the DA that couldn't be fixed by everything that is right with the DA. I worked hard with others who love our party to not only resurrect the party's fortunes, but we've also carried it to new heights. Previous chapters of our party's history were marked by the party becoming the official opposition and entering provincial government in the Western Cape. My term will be remembered for leading the DA into national government and putting South Africa on a new path to prosperity. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not the end of the road for the DA, and it's certainly not the end of the road for me. The way I see it is that there's an important next mission that beckons for our party, and that is to build upon my legacy and the DA's success in the GNU in order to turn our party into the biggest party in South Africa, so that we can lead future coalition governments at local, provincial, and national level. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is a mission for the next DA leader. Because I now have another mission, and it is urgent. For the rest of this term of office, I will focus all of my time and energy as Minister of Agriculture on defeating the most devastating foot-and-mouth disease outbreak our country has ever seen, and to pursue the mass vaccination to ensure that this is the last mass outbreak of FMD that our country ever sees. After leading the DA into the GNU, my next chapter must be to eradicate this devastating disease from our shores once and for all. And that, I'm afraid to say, is not a part-time job. It would simply not be fair to the incredible farmers of South Africa for me to split my time between battling the worst FMD outbreak ever on the one hand, while also running around the country on an internal election campaign for the next 3 months, and then leading a local government election campaign on the other hand. So, to my colleagues and friends in the DA, it has been the honor of a lifetime to lead our party to the top of the Union Building steps. And I want to thank every staff member, every activist, and every public representative. For 3 elective congresses now, I've placed my trust in you and you in me. And we've done some great things together. I told you that we would land our moonshot and keep out the Doomsday Coalition. And today, I simply say, mission accomplished. From right here in Durban, not very far from where I first climbed those steps to the council chambers 27 years ago, I today announce that I will not seek re-election for a third term as the DA federal leader at the party's upcoming federal Congress. And I do so with a full heart, knowing that I've accomplished my DA moonshot mission and that my work in government now requires me to similarly pour my heart and soul and all of my energies into defeating foot and mouth disease. I also do so in the knowledge that I, in April, will hand over the reins to a fundamentally healthier party than the one that I inherited. Instead of 16%, the DA is now consistently polling at 30% and is within striking distance of becoming the biggest political party in South Africa. The next duly elected DA leader can rely on my full support and will be given the space to lead the party as they see fit. For the true test of whether you love a thing is the ability to let it go when the time is right. I have loved leading the DA, which is why today I let it go with a smile on my face and triumphant peace in my heart. The DA that I inherited was reading its own obituary in a country that was in rapid decline. The DA I leave behind co-governs a country that is firmly on the up. It's now up to the next generation of leadership to ensure that the DA continues to do so with ever-growing confidence for many, many more years to come, so that we can deliver to the country of our dreams and deliver this country to all of our children. I love my party and I love my country, and I will continue to work every day to ensure the success of both. Thank you very much.
Ja, dis John Steenhuisen. Blyk nie vir my
Thank
kan
you very much,
beskikbaar wees
ladies and
vir
gentlemen.
vrae nie. Ek gaan dit dus daar stop. Ek gaan nie arrogant genoeg wees om die ding te probeer uitlê en te ontleed en so aan nie. Ek gaan dit oorlaat vir Herman Pretorius môreoggend. Maar ek wil jou een ding sê, hier is waarvan ek oortuig is. As jy wil hê jou mening moet ernstig opgeneem word in 'n gesprek soos oor politiek, dan is dit my mening dat woorde soos poepol en sulke tipe goed nie deel is van die gesprek nie. As jy wil hê jy moet ernstig opgeneem word, dan moet 'n mens nie stiksienig wees nie. En jy moet 'n breër prentjie kan sien. Dit lyk vir my 'n groot deel van Suid-Afrika laat hulle self nie toe om die breër prentjie te sien nie. Laat hulle self nie toe om genuanceerd oor 'n ding te dink nie. Ek beskou 'n mening soos poepol en vetgat en sulke tipe goed is as laag en gemeen. Ek dink die ou het te midde van 'n groot krisis vir homself en vir die DA 'n redelike goeie speech gedoen en ek dink 'n dapper besluit geneem. Want geen mens sy ego is klein genoeg om, bitter min mense sy ego is klein genoeg om te doen wat 'n ou soos John Steenhuisen vandag gedoen het. En weer eens, hoor nou vir my mooi, ek probeer nie sê John het nie foute gemaak nie. Hy maak foute, hy hanteer die back and closure krisis nie heeltemal reg nie. Maar ek dink as jy wil aanspraak maak daarop om deel te neem aan die politieke gesprek in Suid-Afrika, dan gaan ons die vlak daarvan moet verhoog. Want dit wat ek hier sien en dit wat ek elke dag beleef die laaste tyd, oortuig my daarvan dat verreweg die meeste Suid-Afrikaners nie in staat is om 'n behoorlike politieke gesprek te kan voer nie. Dis my mening, ek gaan waarskynlik 'n paar mense vervreem daarmee. Ek hoop nie so nie, want ek probeer altyd om my mening nie as die alfa en omega op die tafel te sit nie. Maar ek is ook nie skaam om te sê hoe ek dink en hoe ek voel nie. So wat hy gesê het, ek sien dis party mense wat sê hulle het nie verstaan wat hy gesê het nie. Wat John gesê het is inderdaad dit wat verwag is. Hy gaan nie verkiesbaar wees in tydens die April-konferensie nie en dat hy voortaan sy aandag gaan gee aan sy amp as minister. Ons gesels môreoggend met Herman Pretorius verder daaroor en Herman het dan 'n lekker gebalanseerde mening, altyd baie skerp ontledings. So ek gaan dit vir hom los. Hy's 'n bietjie slimmer as ek in daai opsig. Ek is net 'n joernalis wat vrae vra. Ek is nie 'n ou wat aanspraak daarop maak dat ek die slimste menings het nie. Maar die bietjie wat ek het, sal ek met jou deel, om daarom ook net my sê te sê, want ek dink regtig, die tipe kommentaar wat party mense lewer op hierdie saak is vir my hartseer. Is vir my ongelooflik hartseer. Om te dink dat jou beste kommentaar gaan oor John se lyf, omdat hy in die tipe werk wat hy tans doen, mense, ek wonder of julle weet hoe gaan dit in die politiek. Daai mense kry nie kans om 'n behoorlike, hy werk sy malle moersuur, omdat hy snags ergens 11:00 vir 'n klomp mense kos gee en dan gebruik hy sy kredietkaart vir Uber Eats en dan maak ons van dit 'n moerse storie terwyl die ANC die land leegsteel. Maar ja, ek besef. Ons praat môreoggend verder. Herman Pretorius sal vir ons die ding uitlê soos wat hy dink dit is. Groetnis. Alle heil en seën, steek om stinkie. Ek is regtig ontstel deur party van julle se kommentaar. For sucks fake man.